It was around 2013 to 2015 where I was here attending a basketball camp during my high school years, playing on an athletic scholarship. Life was going good during these times, you know. Had lots of friends. This was during another basketball camp that I attended. NBC basketball camps. These were, you know, pretty good times where we trained hard. And we trained together and, you know, trying to achieve and grow together. Here I was in my suit. It was prom. I think it was the last prom that I attended. I think it was 2014 during these times. The girl on the left was who I took to prom. The girl on the right was a friend of mine. These were some of my friends. These were these were good friends of mine. You know, we were a happy group. We were really a happy group. We had each other's backs, you know. We really cared about each other. So it was now the year 2015. During this time, I had graduated high school and flew over to Melbourne, Australia, where I would be attending university, where I got accepted into university and would be attending university for the first time. It was the year 2015. During these times, during the year 2015, that's when I first started working. And as you can see here, I'm standing in a pool which me and some guys were working on to build. You can see a bit of dirt on me. You can see me in a work jumper. In my hand, I'm holding a tool which we used for work. And yeah, I'm standing in this unfinished pool, which we were working on to build. I was working as a pool tiler. Okay, I was working as a pool tiler. Moving on to around, moving on to after I had finished, graduated high school, completed my scholarship. Um, it was about 20. It was in between 2015 to 2017 in this photo in Melbourne, Australia, um, where I was out meeting people. And here are some people which I went to school with in Thailand who I ran across to my surprise. And I had to get a photo with them, you know? I had to get a photo with them. It was a nice surprise. During these times, I was working, I was going out, I was meeting people. These are some of, my friends. These are, you know, the guy in the middle here, the black guy, was a good friend of mine, and the guy on the right, sticking his thumb out, was also a good friend that I made. During these times, things were going things were going things were going well, you know. Things were going well, and I just during these times I just felt like everything was going to be all right. I was meeting people. I was making money. I was on the right track. I was on the right track. Then it came to about then it came to 2017 to 2018. Um during these times, um I dropped out of university due to health complications, due to difficulties. During these times, I uh, I was going through changes. I was going through changes in my life. Um, I left university, and I left Melbourne around these times, during these times, 2017, 2018, where I traveled to New Zealand to get during these times I was diagnosed with psychosis. They said I had psychosis. Um, I was going through things, and mentally, I was struggling mentally during these times. Um, I was struggling mentally these times. I was struggling physically, spiritually, and I had to stop what I was doing. I had to stop what I was doing during these times. Um, and then ended up traveling to New Zealand, where I went to get, some therapy and to get some therapy and to kind of go back to my, you know, one of the countries that I grew up in. Um, and try to find, try to get some assistance, try to get some healing. It was about 2018 to 2019 during those times. During the years of 2018, after I had left Melbourne, after I had dropped out of university, I didn't do nothing. I didn't do nothing. During these times, I worked different jobs. I worked in a supermarket. I worked in a salmon. I worked in a salmon factory producing salmon. Um, I worked as a roof tiler. Um, I worked jobs. I worked different jobs and um, met people. Um, I was just me. I was just me doing me. I was just me doing me. I was 19 to 20 at the time. Yeah. Let me calculate. No, yeah, let me let me calculate. I think I was about 19 to 20 years old at the time. Yeah. 2019. Then it came to the end of 2018, around November, where I then, after, where I then moved from New Zealand and traveled back to Australia. Traveled back to Australia where um, I was told that, I was told by my mother that she has a friend that she could hook me up with a job. A better job than what I had at the time, which was, working as a checkout assistant at a supermarket. So I thought, okay, um, you know, I took the opportunity. I thought, you know, I'd try it. Um, yeah, I thought I'd try it, and so then I was flown to Adelaide, Australia, where I then met my mother's friend, um, and started working and living in Adelaide as a laborer for a blind for a what do you call it? For a company that makes blinds for homes, for houses. I started working for this company just as a warehouse, um, just as a warehouse person, as a warehouse person. I started working for this company um, for yeah, and I was you know, that's what I was doing um, for about a year. I got paid. I didn't get paid much. I didn't get paid a lot. Um, but I got paid. I got to during these times. I met a I made a good I made some friends. I made some good connections. You know, I made some good connections. Um, I got to see a new city, a new environment, a new place. Yeah, that was that was 2019 till about 2020 till about 2021. During those times, I was in Adelaide, Australia, working, living, um, yeah, working and living. It came to it came to 2021 after being in Adelaide for about 3 years. Um, you know, after being in Adelaide for about 3 years, I then um, I then left Adelaide. I then left Adelaide in 2021. You know, after some time being in Adelaide, I then left Adelaide in 2021. Things, there were complications, in Adelaide. There were complications with work, inconsistent work, um, inconsistent family, uh, inconsistencies. So then around 2021, ended up leaving Adelaide and ended up traveling and living in Queensland. During my times in Queensland, I was living in between Brisbane and the Gold Coast, and Brisbane was a great city. You know, Brisbane was a nice. It was a nice city with. It was quite a. It was a. It was a nice city. It was definitely a nice city. There was some nice things to see. There was um, there was a lot of quality in Brisbane and in Queensland. So during the year of 2021, during those times, um, I was living in backpackers accommodation. I've been living in backpackers accommodation for a while now, moving from different backpackers accommodations, backpacker accommodation to another, moving from one city to another and moving to different backpackers accommodations. And during my time in Brisbane and the Gold Coast, um, things were going well. I was working as an Uber Eats delivery driver for a majority of the time, delivering, food to people's doorsteps. Um, just, doing that to support myself, doing that to be able to pay rent, doing that to be able to eat, to be able to save money and, buy, you know, plan my life, buy things that I wanted to buy. That was, around the year of 2021. After living a year in Queensland, Australia, I eventually ended up relocating to New Zealand. After ended up relocating to New Zealand after, you know, for for ended up relocating back to New Zealand for a couple of reasons. Um, I there was actually during these times actually there was massive weather problems in Queensland. There was massive weather problems. There was a lot of rain during these times, and working as a Uber delivery driver where I'd be riding around on an electric scooter. It really made my it really made the work quite impossible. The roads started flooding around the city. Everywhere was flooding. The 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 water levels, were rising, had risen very high due to rainfall, and was flooding the city. Was literally flooding the city. Was flooding everywhere. And this literally made, life and work for a lot of people just impossible. It was definitely it was it was dangerous. It was dangerous. It was dangerous times. Um, because of the weather and the environment, I ended up losing my job at Uber Eats. Um, stress and, so forth. A bit of chaos. There was a bit of chaos during those times, and I ended up losing my job. Um, Ended up losing my job. There was, it is what it is. Yeah. And so then for a while I ended up at a friend's place. For a while I ended up at a friend's place, an old family friend of mine who I came across again. I ended up at this family friend's place of mine. Um, but he was kind enough to give me a couch to sleep on. Whilst I had no job, whilst the weather was. He saved me out of the weather. There was massive rainfall. It was crazy weather. You know, I I was no longer able to stay at the backpackers that I was staying at the time. Um, you know, due to some drama. Due to some drama at the time. So I had nowhere to go. Um, and thankfully, I had this friend of mine, or this family friend of mine, who gave me a couch to sleep on. And so, yeah, during these times, during around 2022, I was, sleeping on the couch of this family friend of mine. Um, yeah, managed to in the Gold Coast, I was in the Gold Coast during these times, and Gold Coast was also great. Gold Coast has some nice beaches there. Um, Gold Coast has a lot of nice areas there. I was I was go I was getting assistance um from uh like food banks, um just assistance from charities, from these, charity organize charity groups that were, assisting people out with helping people, giving out like free food, giving out essentials for people, helping people out with essentials. Um, and yeah, during those times, whilst I didn't have a job, whilst I wasn't, making any money, um, this assistance was keeping me alive. I was using this assistance, to, stay alive, to still have food. Um, yeah. And I was very grateful for this. I was very grateful for this. Um, I was very, very grateful for this. It was saving me. It was saving my life. So how could I not be? You know? How could I not be? During these times as well, I met some people on a basketball court near where I was living, and I'd be going there on the regular, playing basketball with a bunch of people that I had met. And we gained a lot of attention. We gained a lot of attention, and my basketball skills were on display. And yeah, my basketball skills were on display, and I was having a good time. I was really having a good time. Staying fit, staying healthy, meeting people, meeting some great people. Um, Yeah, that was the year of around 2022, 2021 to 2022, in Queensland, Australia. After my time in um, Queensland, I ended up moving out of Queensland. Ended up leaving Australia to go to New Zealand. Um, there was a couple reasons for it. Reason one was I wasn't making any money. You know, I wasn't making any money. There were no jobs. I had lost my job at Uber Eats, and I wasn't able to find any replacement work. I wasn't able to. Another reason was because, I was sleeping on this couch of a friend of mine, and I couldn't keep sleeping on the couch forever. It wasn't sustainable. It wasn't something to do long term. It was just to help me whilst things were a bit chaotic. You know, it was just to help me whilst things were a bit chaotic. It wasn't meant as a long term thing. It started becoming a bit of a long term thing, um, and that's not how things could just be. So it came to about the end of 2022, early 2023, where I ended up moving back to New Zealand, where I knew I could get assistance, from the government. Um, and that's yeah, that's what happened. Came to about 2023, where I booked a backpackers for myself. Managed to get a flight booked and booked a backpackers um, in Auckland. I didn't have much. I didn't have much money. I managed to get some money from. I managed to get some help from um, a friend of mine. His name is Greg. I managed to get help from him, and he gave me some money. And I only had a little in my account, where I had to plan, organize trying to get a job, and organize. Where I had to organize trying to get a job, and I got lucky, and I found a job. I did. I got. It was kind of in the nick of the. It was kind of a nick of the time type thing, where I managed to get a job in the nick of time. Um. Yeah. Um. Moving forward, I worked this job with a company, with a labor hire company, where I was, working as a labor hire. I would work in factories, so I'd work in warehouses. I would work in, I would work outside in job sites. Um, I would be doing doing various roles, as a labor hire. Um, that was, during the start of 2023. And yeah, that was around late 2022 to 2023. Yeah. I also managed to get a job working at a KFC. Um, yeah, I managed to get a job working at a KFC. I was grateful for that job, you know. I met some good people there. I really got to meet some good people there. And yeah, was just trying to find my way during these times. Come to 2024 where I am, the year that it is now. Um, I'm now sitting, or I'm now lying down in bed. Uh, in a place that I'm renting. I snagged this place for a very good price, very cheap, and a very good quality place, where I've been staying now for some time. Um, Taking care of myself, building up. Um, yeah. That's that's been the story of my life from that's been the story of my life from when I graduated high school in 2015 till now, 2024, 10 years later. I'm in good shape. I'm in good health. Um, I'm in good shape and I'm in good health. But the future doesn't look great. You know, it. You know, things things right now in where I'm living in Auckland. It doesn't look great. You know, there's there's not much opportunities. You know, there's not much opportunities to be able to meet people. There's not much opportunities in jobs. Um, there is not much that I can see in terms of a way forward and a way moving out. And, you know, because, you know, what I want to do is, you know, I want to be, I don't know, I want to make a name. I want to make a name for myself, you know, that's what I want to do. You know, I want to just make a name for myself. You know, that's all I want to do. That's all I'm trying to achieve. But, you know, it's 2024 and I'll tell you, you know, people don't people don't care. People really don't care. Um, and it's quite it's it's not nice. People just don't care. I wanted to play basketball professionally. That was a dream of mine. That was a goal of mine. I wanted to become a professional athlete. And, I've really tried, I've really trained. But honestly, people don't care. People just don't care, actually. And, when people just don't care, I don't know what I'm meant to do. I don't know what else I can do. Um, I feel like society is just collapsing. I feel like society is collapsing and people just don't care. It's not good. It's not good. This is not how things should be. Where people just don't care and, you know, people are only, I don't know, people just don't care. So, yeah. My name is Peakay Jones. I'm currently 27 years old. This has been the story of my life.